Live at 6.
We're losing a battle with how fast the technology can be made and how secure it's being developed and how fast the attackers are finding problems.
It's a concern many around the valley have this time of year: identity theft and fraud activity. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Krista Boehm. After TurboTax fraud put taxpayers at risk, both North Dakota and Minnesota are back to accepting those TurboTax returns. But it happens time after time every year. Valley News Team's Christina Craig learned what concerns tax professionals here most.
It's every year you're kind of taking a gamble. Sites like TurboTax have been breached several times in the past. Problems right now, obviously, and there's going to be problems in the future.
Tim Jensen works with computers in security and risk management. He says identity theft and illegal activity is almost inevitable.
Fraud schemes in general have really gone up.
And the North Dakota Tax Commissioner says it's a problem that's growing. TurboTax programs recently stopped accepting e-filings after reports of tax fraud. With the complex tax code, many people we spoke to use online step-by-step programs or a personal accountant in hopes they won't be a target.
I did have one person today that was in that talked about a little bit.
Working in accounting for over 30 years, Condit trusts the system and says he's heard it all.
My primary concern is my data going to be safe? Is somebody going to be able to capture it in transit or where it's stored? And is it going to be accurate? So are they going to be able to change it?
Whether you're filing online or with an accountant, Jensen says it's best to research the company beforehand to see if their record is clean. And professionals advise it's best not to wait.
It's better, I think, just to fill it out and get it done with.
And if you have a refund coming, then you'll get a little green sooner than later. In Fargo, Christina Craig, Valley News Live.
Tax professionals say e-filing is still the best way to go. When you are doing the filing of a tax return, make sure you only have that one screen up and you don't have access to all your other personal information in different windows open. An 18-year-old from Grand Forks has turned herself in after first being reported missing a week ago. Jenna Stay, who was reported missing after failing to appear in Polk County District Court on narcotics charges. She turned herself in just after 10:30 last night. She will be transferred to the Tri-County Community Correction Center in Crookston and will likely have court on Monday. Stay for 2 felony counts of selling drugs in Polk County. Well, it's been an enjoyable day in the valley with the sun peeking out just a bit. Let's check in with meteorologist Lisa Green to see if these temperatures will last. Lisa?
Well, we're still going to be on the mild side, but we do have some changes coming up in the forecast, and that does start tonight with some chances for precipitation. Here's a look at our high temperatures today. We maxed out above the freezing mark in the Southern Valley. A very mild day there. Got to enjoy some sunshine, a little bit of haze out there too. Up north, not quite as warm, especially in Roseau. 19 degrees showing up there. Here's a look at our current temperatures and the radar combined. You could see some green, even some pink showing up along the North Dakota, South Dakota line, and temperatures there very close to the freezing mark, and that's what we are concerned about right now. The system is going to be sliding eastward right now, moving over Bismarck, and will continue moving its way through the Southern Valley. For tonight, expect more clouds, a little bit of haze, perhaps some mist. As those temperatures start to drop tonight and dropping below the freezing mark, that's when we get concerned about some of that drizzle or even mist that's out there depositing onto roads and starting to freeze over. So we'll talk about that and some chances for snow coming up tomorrow in just a few minutes.
Icy roads could be to blame for an accident in Roseau County earlier this morning. Eli Sullivan, a 31-year-old of Crookston, was driving his pickup east on Highway 11 at 8:30 this morning. He sped up to pass a dump truck that had pulled out in front of him. Sullivan lost control and went into the ditch, rolled the pickup, which landed with the wheels up. Sullivan didn't have any apparent injuries, but a passenger was treated for non-life-threatening injuries. 2 people are dead after a crash early this morning in the Twin Cities. Police responded to a vehicle crash near the intersection of 37th Avenue Northeast and University in Minneapolis around 2:30. When they arrived, officers found a car with 5 passengers on the shoulder of the northbound lane of University Avenue, where it had stopped after hitting a tree. The passenger in the front seat, an adult woman, was pronounced dead at the scene. The driver, who was an adult man, died as he was being transported to the hospital. The 3 other passengers, all adults, are expected to survive. The accident is still under investigation. Police are still asking for your help in finding a missing 17-year-old from Fargo. Police say they have no leads in finding Octavia Wise. She ran away from home just a few days ago. They believe she is a danger to herself and want you to be on the lookout for her. If you have any information, please contact local law enforcement. The Fargo-Moorhead community rallied around an 18-year-old from West Fargo who was trying to take on the role of mother and father after just graduating from high school. An overwhelming amount of support for Mackenzie Jackson as people came out to raise money for a new home and to help Mackenzie take care of her brother and sister. Mackenzie is fighting for custody of her siblings after they recently lost both of their parents. Her mom passed away 3 years ago and her dad last month. Her teenage brother and sister are now in foster care. So far, they've raised over $4,000 and have more than 60 items up for auction.
It's heartwarming. It shows a lot how much people really do care and how much people can come together, and it's very nice of people to do things like this.
Now, Mackenzie is going to court to get full custody of her brother and sister, and the benefit is still going on until 7:30 tonight at Faith Lutheran Church in West Fargo. And remember, you can like Valley News Live on Facebook. You can follow the latest news, weather, and breaking news updates anytime on your feed. Just search Valley News Live, like our page, and you can stay informed throughout the whole day. The decades-long campaign to combat drunk driving is making our nation's roads safer, but the use of marijuana behind the wheel is on the rise. That's according to a pair of studies by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. One study found that the number of drivers with alcohol in their system has declined by nearly 1/3 since 2007. But that same survey found a large increase in the number of drivers using marijuana or other drugs. Nearly 1 in 4 drivers tested positive for at least one drug that could affect their safety, while about 8% of drivers during weekend nighttime hours were found to have alcohol in their system. The number of weekend nighttime drivers with evidence of drugs in their system climbed from 16.3% in 2007 to 20% in 2014. The number of drivers with marijuana in their system grew up by nearly 50%. Well, put down that spatula. Today, you don't have to worry about cooking for the family. If you missed out on breakfast and lunch, there's still time for dinner, too. The 57th annual Fargo Kiwanis Pancake Carnival is flipping sausages and more than 30,000 buckwheat and buttermilk pancakes all day long at the Fargo Dome. Club members opened the doors and tied their aprons at 7 this morning, and the fun won't stop until 7 tonight. And there's something for every age to enjoy.
I think the food is a great base, but the community loves social events, and this is a chance to have multiple generations to spend time together. And sure, you know, the pancakes and the sausage are great. It adds to the atmosphere, but the games and the social is what people come for.
And if you still want to check it out, tickets are $8 at the door. The goal is to raise $50,000 for various organizations in the community. And organizers say it's an event that grows every single year.